Hey everyone, if you've ever found yourself staring at your screen, totally frustrated trying to get an AI to help you debug some broken code, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to talk about a whole new way of thinking that transforms your AI from a kind of helpful, sometimes chatbot into a genuine problem-solving partner. We've all been there, right? You've hit a complete wall. Your code is just not working. And the AI assistant, well, it's spitting out answers that are generic, not helpful, or sometimes just flat out wrong. It feels like one of the most frustrating dead ends in all of programming. But here's the thought. What if the problem isn't really the AI? What if it's how we're asking for help? The way most of us ask an AI for help, it kind of falls into what you could call the AI debugging trap. We ask these vague questions, we blindly trust whatever it says first, and then we just end up running in circles. But the new way, the method we're going to break down today, is the total opposite. It's all about being systematic, demanding evidence, and driving toward answers that are clear and that you can actually verify. And that right there, that's the core shift in mindset we need to make. The issue isn't that the AI is dumb or incapable, it's that we're not guiding it, we're not treating it like the incredibly powerful analysis tool that it is. But by just changing our approach, we can unlock its true potential for debugging. So what's the secret? Well, it's a framework called chain of verification, or CoVe for short. And this isn't just about writing better prompts. No, this is a complete methodology. It turns that frustrating back and forth Q&A into a structured investigation based on evidence where you and the AI are working together like a team. To really make this work, we have to completely redefine our roles. Think about it this way. You are no longer just a developer asking for help. You are the lead detective. You've got the context, the domain knowledge, and you are directing this investigation. And the AI? It becomes your high-tech forensic analyst. It can sift through mountains of code and spot patterns a human would miss, but it needs your guidance. It needs you to tell it where to look. So how exactly does a detective lead this kind of high-tech investigation? Well, you do it by using a specific set of powerful techniques. So let's dive into the 7 core investigative patterns of the CoVe framework. These are the keys to unlocking the AI's full potential. Okay, our first pattern is called progressive clarification, and this is all about starting smart. I mean, you can't solve a mystery if you don't even know what you're looking for, right? So instead of saying something vague like, my code is slow, you have to get specific. This pattern is what turns a fuzzy symptom into a sharp, precise starting point for your investigation. And this is a template you can use, either with yourself or to prompt the AI. For instance, my data isn't updating becomes the items in the new releases block are showing old content, and I can see their update timestamps are from yesterday. See the massive difference? One is a vague complaint. The other is a concrete clue. Next up, pattern number 2, respectful assumption verification. Every good detective questions assumptions, and that means questioning their own and their partners. This pattern is all about challenging the AI's conclusions, but in a constructive way. You want to encourage it to dig deeper, not get defensive. The phrasing here is absolutely key. It frames the whole thing as teamwork. You're not saying, hey, you're wrong. You're saying, let's double check this together to make sure we're on the right path. And that keeps the AI focused on re-examining the actual evidence. Our third pattern, evidence-based investigation, might honestly be the most important one of them all. A detective would never accept a theory without proof, and neither should you. High-level explanations from the AI are pretty much useless. You have to ground every single theory in the actual code. This is your new go-to prompt. Seriously, make this your best friend. If the AI claims some function is causing the issue, make it show you the receipts, the exact file, the exact line number. This is what forces the investigation away from guesswork and into the hard reality of your codebase. The fourth pattern is incremental context building. Real investigations are built piece by piece, right? So instead of just dumping the entire problem on the AI all at once, you add constraints and context one step at a time. You start broad, then you systematically add new, confirmed facts like, okay, I manually ran the job, and I'm still seeing the old data. And that just narrows the field of possibilities. Pattern 5 is a fun one, verification through visualization. Complex logic can be really hard to follow in just a wall of text. So sometimes what you really need is a map. This pattern is about asking the AI to be your cartographer, to create diagrams of function calls or data flows. A visual can instantly reveal flawed logic that you might never spot in text.
A simple request like this can be a total game changer. When you ask the AI to map out the process you're debugging, you're forcing it to do a really detailed trace. And what you get back is a clear diagram that you can quickly check against how you think things should be working.
All right, pattern number 6 is the implementation deep dive. This is where you get your hands dirty. Once you have a solid theory, you ask the AI to trace the execution step by step through the actual code. This isn't about what should happen in theory. It's about what the code is actually doing, which is often where those sneaky, overlooked details are hiding. And our final pattern is contradiction resolution. As the lead detective, your real-world observations, the things you see with your own eyes, are crucial pieces of evidence. So when you see something that directly contradicts the AI's theory, like an API call that works perfectly when you run it by hand, you have to present that conflicting evidence. Using a template like this forces the AI to stop and reevaluate its entire line of reasoning. Presenting these contradictions is how you steer the investigation away from dead ends and closer to the real truth. This is often the key that cracks the whole case open. So, with these 7 patterns in our toolkit, we've basically established a whole new dynamic. This is not just you using a tool anymore. It's a genuine partnership. And like any good partnership, success really depends on each person understanding their role and playing to their strengths. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at these 2 columns. On the left, that's you, the detective. You bring the irreplaceable stuff, your deep domain knowledge, your ability to ask systematic questions, and your real-world observations. And on the right, you have the AI analyst bringing the raw horsepower, massive scale code analysis, spotting complex patterns, and doing detailed tracing that would take a human forever. It's the perfect division of labor. Okay, so we've gone through the theory, we've looked at all the patterns. Now let's put it all together into a simple, actionable playbook that you can start using on your very next bug. This 4-step loop is really the entire CoVe process in a nutshell. It's a cycle you just repeat for any bug. 1. Start with a clear, specific problem. 2. Systematically add new constraints to narrow the focus. 3. Demand hard code-level evidence for every single claim. And 4. Reconcile any contradictions you find and verify the findings before you start the loop all over again. And, just as important as knowing what to do is knowing what not to do. You have to avoid these anti-patterns. On your side, that means never, ever accepting AI claims without checking them, and always being specific. And on the AI side, you have to demand that it avoids making claims without showing you the code, and that it sticks to implementation details, not vague theories. This discipline is what makes the whole thing work. Ultimately, this chain of verification method is so much more than just a set of prompts. It's a whole new mindset. It reframes debugging from this frustrating chore into a compelling investigation. So the next time you hit that wall, just ask yourself, is this just another obstacle, or is this a case that's just waiting for a great detective to solve it?